All you can do is laugh, man. What a bullshit call to end the regulation portion of that game, man. Habs probably should have won that game. That was an absolute dog shit call from the referees, calling that goal back from Brendan Gallagher there. And Gallagher quoted immediately after the game saying he got knocked on his ass. He had time to reset. So how can the referees legitimately say that the goaltender did not have time to reset there? Furthermore, of course, there was a bit of contact in the crease there. Gallagher's skate hits Murray's and he spins around. I don't know if he maybe embellished it a little bit there, but like Gallagher's also tangled up with a Sens player. He wasn't purposefully trying to hit Murray. The contact was very minimal. He got into the front of the net. He got out of the crease fast. Murray had plenty of time to reset there, and nonetheless they called it back. And I knew they would, because it is an absolute joke what they're doing to remove contact from the game of hockey now. Gallagher also quoted as saying calls like that ruin the product, and it's absolutely true. I'm glad he sounded off on it. It's ridiculous how the NHL is treating goalie interference, how they're treating contact in this game. They'll let Kotkaniemi take an elbow to the head, but they'll call a goal like that back when this league wants more goals. Brutal, brutal loss, deflating loss for the Habs. Hopefully they'll be able to respond somehow against the Winnipeg Jets here in their next game. But man, it is a tough time to be a Montreal Canadien player. I'm sure it's definitely a tough time to be a fan. This is excruciating, especially after the teaser that we were given to start this season. It's unbelievable. Now, I just quickly, I'm not going to do a full breakdown of each goal by goal of this game. I just want to get a few things off my chest, and I've been swamped lately in my personal life. We're under 2 months out from my third child being born, so we've been running all over the place. So I'm just going to go through this, kind of improvise here. And I'm not going to, bitch about Claude Julien too much more. I'm going to do my best not to. There's plenty of people doing that for me online and everywhere else, so I'll leave that to them. You already know how I feel about what should happen to him and what I think will really rejuvenate this team, because they did not come out with energy to start this game whatsoever. And that's unacceptable after all the talk before this game the last couple days about trying to get back to their old ways of being excited about this team and play with some energy. They just didn't come with it, and maybe you got to give it to the Sens for just being dialed in right now and playing spoiler to a lot of teams, and it may not be playing spoiler too much longer after we've seen the performances that they've put up against not only the Montreal Canadiens but the Toronto Maple Leafs as well. Their team, built with, a mismatched bunch of people, and they've somehow managed to put together a better locker room than us this season. That's not good at all. And that Habs got absolutely embarrassed in that first period all over the ice. I'm not sure what Kulak is doing on that first goal there. There was no real reason for him to, leave his side of the ice defensively and then, try and cut off the pass when Romanov was already generally in position. You might blame it on Kotkaniemi too for not back checking hard enough, but it's not like the pass was received in the high slot. The guy was cruising towards the net. Kulak could have cut him off and they would not have scored there. So that's a rough one to give up early, and then they give up another one right after that, 2-0. And then we see Tkachuk and Sherratt get Sherratt hits him, and then we see a fight, and Sherratt goes down and Tkachuk's just smashing him while he's down. Just absolutely greasy. Now, I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but I'm a fan of the Tkachuks. I like what they bring to the game. However, you're a moron if you cannot say that wasn't an absolutely greasy decision against the code for Tkachuk doing what he did there. I'm surprised the Habs didn't come back and try and get after him, after that. Maybe they just wanted to focus on getting the win, but I don't know, man. I just don't like the response from this team. They're not playing with tenacity. They're not playing with energy. They're not, sticking up for their players. Like, we need someone to come in and turn the tide of this team, and it's just not happening right now. And we've all talked about how strong the leadership group is. It's not seeming that way right now. Now, granted, after the first period, they came out with some energy and did battle back to end up tying this game. Eventually, it ends up being 3-3. And then the Habs actually take a lead to make it 4-3 in the third period. Toffoli, a nice goal there on Matt Murray. But Price, man, lets in a flub right after that. And if your goalie is going to continue, your elite goalie who's paid handsomely, I don't need to tell you the number, if he's going to keep letting in flubs like this, oh my God, he's got to give up the net, man. He's not dialed in. And I know there's a lot of people that on the internet and whatnot that have enjoyed seeing these clips from the Canadiens about Carey Price having fun on the ice and his antics with the pranks and stuff like that. I've been really quiet about my feelings on it. It's been concerning to me. He doesn't seem dialed in. That's not Carey Price. Carey Price hates getting scored on in practice. He's, he sets the tone. And I don't see that from him lately, and I don't see that from him on the ice. Now, granted, it was kind of a weird performance tonight because he absolutely robbed a bunch of guys. And you have to say, too, that the defense does not, do him any favors a lot of the time. And he bails them out as well. But you can't be doing that and then letting in absolutely weak goals. The second goal for Brady Tkachuk, just brutal. And the performance from him tonight, it's getting really hard to watch him just light us up and just be a thorn in our side when we easily could have drafted him. Now, nothing against Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Realistically, he was going to be a project, and I still have confidence that he'll come around. He's one of the youngest players in the league. He's playing a much harder position than Brady Tkachuk is. He was drafted as a tall, lanky guy that needed to fill out. So over time, it sucks, but we got to be patient with this kid to get his game going. The other weird thing is he's still not getting minutes. He didn't play at all in the overtime, which I don't understand what we're doing this season. Are we trying to win games, or are we trying to develop guys on the fly like Kotkaniemi? I'm not sure we're putting our best foot forward to win hockey games. And the other thing too, not only is that if your goalie is going to be letting in flubs like this all the time, on top of that, if you're a team that's relying on point shot scrambles to score goals, like the Gallagher one, and Weber getting a lucky bounce for his first goal, if that's what you have to rely on to score, you are going to lose more games than you win, especially in the NHL now, if they're apparently going to be calling back goals like we saw at the end of this game. But yeah, it sucks seeing Brady Tkachuk. I'm not even going to lie what he's doing out there for the Sens right now. This team could use a guy like that, and it's really unfortunate that we had the opportunity to draft him and we didn't. And the other thing too is Tim Stützle is an absolutely special player. It's really frustrating that both times that the Habs drafted top 3, we get Galchenyuk. We know how that didn't work out. This time we get Kotkaniemi. We'll have to see how it plays out. Like I said, I'm still confident. He's not ever going to be a flashy type player, but I think eventually he'll be, an all-around center who defends well, who passes well, who shoots well, and eventually becomes a center that could put up 60, maybe 70 points. But the Sens draft top 3, and they end up getting the player who maybe even should have gone number 1 in this draft. Like, I don't know if that's luck on behalf of the Sens. Maybe it is, because I don't know how LA passes up on Tim Stützle at number 2. So I don't know if, between the Habs and the Sens, if that's luck or just, better scouting on their behalf and poor scouting on Montreal's behalf, because it just sucks when the very rare time we get to draft in the top 3, we still haven't seen this team get that no doubt elite player onto our roster who comes into the NHL at a young age and it's just flying out there. And it's getting, I've been waiting years and years and years for the Habs to get a player like this, and it just seems like it's never going to happen. It's brutal, man. Anyway, we go into a shootout in this one. And it's Stützle with the nasty dangles. He beats Price clean, 5-hole. And Price's body language in that shootout was just miserable. His body language in general has been miserable. And I think it was then Josh Norris who sniped one, beat him clean as well. And of course, when Drouin shoots, we get no luck at all. He rings it off the post. This is a fragile group right now. Little to no confidence. And something has to change. You're very limited in what you can do with trade. So I just don't see how Bergevin can sit idly by and watch a team like the Sens have better special teams, both power play and penalty kill, than us, and not do something drastic. And you know what I'm hinting at. To try and turn this around. At this point, the Montreal Canadiens, in their current state, if they want to do anything this season, and to get their fans back in it, they need to live or die by their young players. They must. And I just don't know what to say. It's getting old. It's getting real old. And yeah. Let me know what you thought about this game down in the comments. I'm not sure if I really have much more after this, man. It's yeah, let me know down in the comments. If you like these videos, hit the like and subscribe button and the bell for notifications. You can get at me on Twitter as well, @ScotianCanadien. Cheers, guys. No Habs, no.